Hello, everybody. How are you? Good morning. Let's see who's awake on the East Coast with me. Yeah, let's see. There's Chad, number one fan. My nephew, my handsome nephew, Chad Brown. How are you, my friend? Good to see you. So I've got this shared to different places. So hopefully people will go, oh my gosh, it's Molly. It's crazy. So I'm gonna do my whole phone thing here so that I can see the comments best as I can. Allow people to jump on here. So good morning, Lisa. Good morning, Brenda. Hi, Diane. Hi, Lisa Hoffman. And Floyd. How are you, Floyd? Good to see you. I hope everybody grabbed some coffee. I did. I needed it. It was a long night last night. Veronica, hello. Hi, Dee. Yes, finally caught me live. I haven't been live very often these days. Yeah. Melody, hello. Maggie. Hi, Maggie. Who else do we have? I see Hope and Carla are sneaking in the back door there. Hello, dear Hope. Good to see you. I hope everybody's staying warm. For those of you, look, we're only in the 20s here, so believe me, we're not even cold compared to some of you for sure. Dee says you're frozen on your end. Sorry, Dee. I don't know why I'm frozen. I'm looking here on my other feed. It looks like it's good. So you might want to click back in. Click out and click back in. Hi, Cecilia. How are you? Good to see you this morning. I see Kim Scott. So how about the cup? You like the cup? Doesn't it sound like me? She believed she could. So she did. Yeah, that's how we get it done here, right? Hi, Julie Miller. I see you. Susan Allred. Yes. I see. So we're going to talk. I'm going to share a couple of fun stories, a couple of inspirational stories with you. And then for those of you who don't want to log on, you know I can't talk without talking about my company, right? So I'm going to talk about some things that I'm doing with some of the changes and some of the improvements that our company is trying to make and how I'm trying to use it. And hopefully it will help you all. Hi, Brittany Hutchinson. Mwah. Good to see you. It's really cold where you're at, Floyd. I know. I mean, believe me, I'm just a big chicken because I don't like it either. I was working out in it till about 2 in the morning. And I think the lowest it got was like 22. That was without any wind. I got to tell you, I don't like it, guys. That's one of the reasons I want to move to North Carolina. I don't want all that 20s, and we got snow here, and they weren't exactly calling for it. So, some of the neighborhoods I'd go in, there was nothing done because it wasn't a whole lot of snow, but it was enough with the freezing temperatures to make it a little bit slick in places. So that's a little bit scary. Hi, Bonnie Murphy. How are you? Jane, good morning. Good to see you. Oh, wow. Brittany says went from negative 52 here on Wednesday and now back in the 40s. I know. I don't get this weather, not even a little bit. They're talking about 60s all next week. And I'm like, how do you go from the 20s and the teens to 60s? And what, Lee, what we're saying? And then 30s by the weekend. I'm like, you wonder why people are sick, for real. So for you who are negative 52, you keep that stuff, okay? Keep that stuff. That is not anything I need for sure. So first of all, I'm sure because I've connected this to my group for all Avon representatives, Onward No Matter What, and some of you have maybe not seen me live before, not even there. I haven't been doing a lot of lives because I've just been so busy with life just in general. It's been crazy, working more than I've worked in a really long time, really going after goals that, personal goals. A lot of what I'm doing is absolutely personal for me. So so you don't see a whole lot of me. You'll see me post. I schedule posts to you all so that you don't think I fell off the end of the earth. And then I've been doing a lot more on my page here. So if you're in one of my other groups, my team page or the Onward No Matter What group, this is originating from the Onward with Molly Inspiration for Life page. So that you don't miss anything, because I don't always share to the groups, you may want to go click on that after this and like the page. Like the page. My page is not just about business. It's, you all know I love to cook, so I put a lot of the stuff that Lee and I cook together with Blue Apron, and then stuff that I cook, of course, my recipes or things that, you know, we're fixing just to share it, because I like to share. Sometimes it's just inspirational stuff. Sometimes it's stuff that's happening to me. And I'm a big sharer. So if you're watching this for the first time, I just believe in sharing the good, the very good, the bad, the ugly, everything in between, because the worst feeling in the world is to think, hi, Maria, how are you? Is to feel like you are the only one in life going through what you're going through or something similar, rather it be life or business, or maybe something, maybe at your job, or something with your kids, or something with your family. And sometimes you just feel alone. Hi, Janet, good to see you. Bonnie, good to see you. Vicky, I see you. You haven't said anything yet, but I see you sneaking in there. So, you know, or if you think that this can help somebody, you know, from the groups that are closed, you can't share it, you know. But if you think, if you've got a group page, if I'm talking about things that you think somebody can laugh at and they need to laugh, or something that can inspire someone or motivate somebody, or you're like, this woman's crazy, I don't even know what she's doing, and you want to share it, I do this on my page so that you can share it. You can share it where you want to. You may want to share it to your page. I mean, dang, is my hair, look, this is totally bedhead this morning. No makeup, putting the glasses on, bedhead all over the place. I know it normally looks like bedhead all the time, but this time I can honestly tell you, true bedhead, guys, right? Like, still in my PJs. I was not lying. I got a $120 online order. Oh my gosh, Floyd, that's excellent. Good. Good morning, Stephanie. I was wondering if you were going to show up on here. Always good to see you on my lives. Sandra, I see you sneaking in. Debbie, I see you. Julie, I see you. How are you, my friend? Yeah, oh yeah, believe me, Stephanie, I really do. As you see, I sit way far back from the camera when there is none. But yes, the skin is doing really well. Thank you, Avon. I mean, seriously, that new skincare elixir combination that we have that's coming out, oh my gosh, just absolutely amazing stuff right there. So I love it. So there's a lot of good things coming, right? So anyway, so let's just kind of get started. I was asking Lee this morning, we were laying in bed having our morning talk like we always do, and I was like, Lee, remind me of some of the stories I've told you coming home from Uber, because, you know, when you're doing this, oh, Chad asked, Chad, I'm just seeing this, so I'm watching two different screens. When did I start Uber? Okay, I started back in September. So let me see, September, October, November, December, January. So officially, Chad, I've been doing it 4 months. And you know, you do something new. You know, I remember telling you guys in the beginning that when I started Avon, it was for extra money. Yes, Maria, I love it too, my friend. I know. Roger, hello. How are you? Roger says he's doing his black mineral mask right now. That's a great mask. Stephanie says she's rocking the rapid pay. I bet, girl, isn't that amazing? Yeah, I know, it's so great. And I like that because, you know, Stephanie, Uber does that too. This whole thing where you can get paid in the moment. I love it that stuff like that can happen. I think our company is really transforming some things that we wish that we had had a while ago, but now we do. And I think it's really going to help people. Thank you. Melissa, thank you so much. Yeah, you like that? I'd love to tell you it's Avon, but I didn't. My nail guy, he chose this. So yeah, I did like it. So when I first started this, it was like everything else. You know, Avon, I wanted a little bit of extra money. I definitely dug in and found my passion and love with their products, which I had known all my life. And my mom, of course, was a big Avon fan. And by watching my upline, Marianne, I should say upline and friend because she's my friend, but you know, luckily for me, she was my Avon lady first, and then I became her representative, and through all that, we became friends. But I really watched what she did and how it was supporting her. You know, her business was paying all her bills, and here I was, you know, trying newly divorced or on my way to being newly divorced, and just, you know, was working 3 jobs. You know, I had my main job. I was working 50 to 60 hours a week. I was delivering newspapers at night. And then, of course, Avon came in. The whole reason I bought that in was because I could work it around my life instead of my life around Avon. So I really liked that. And this was 15 years ago almost. So it was long before the age of social media and what we can do with everything now. So I love the way now I have enough time in my career, and I'm sorry my throat is, this has been going on for a few weeks, guys. I sound like a man when I need to, but yeah, let me take a drink here. So I did. So once I fell in love and realized, wow, this is what I'd like to do, I remember thinking I need to make a plan because I would like to just do this. I would love to leave my job. I saw the potential that you could build a huge customer base, you could let people know what you do, and you could build a team, and you could make money. And it was very possible that this Avon thing could pay my bills. And I thought, that's what I'm going to shoot for. I know it's going to be hard doing everything I have to do, but it was a dead-end job for me. I just wasn't making any more money, but I couldn't leave it because even though I was late paying all my bills, eventually they were getting paid. So I thought, I want more. I see the potential in this. So I started working on that. And, you know, eventually I started building a team, and everywhere I went, you know, I had brochures with me. I told everybody about what I was doing. I know a lot of people say that your family and friends are the ones who may buy from you the most. It wasn't the case for me. And if you didn't have a lot of friends, it's not like I had a lot. I got a whole lot of friends now. I have a whole Avon tribe. It's great. I got all kinds of friends now. It's amazing what it can bring you, but I didn't. And I had family, but not a whole lot of family, and they weren't all buying from me. And some were, but you can't expect them to buy every single campaign. So here 15 years later with over 400 customers, and yeah, 400 customers in 15 years, over 98% of my customers are people I had never met before I started my business. So think about that. People say, I don't know anybody. Seriously, guys, I did not know anybody, but I decided that I was going to be, hi, Bobby, good to see you, my friend. I had decided that I needed to be the person who there were no strangers in my life. And I really did feel like I was kind of like that in the beginning. I liked talking to people. I liked meeting people. I love listening to people and their journeys and where they've been and where they want to go. And so that was huge for me. So when I had the opportunity to share a brochure, or as somebody became my customer, you can't help it. You kind of get involved with their life and they share with you. And then because they like you, they share you with others. So it is so weird how it just happens if you just keep talking to people. And now in the age of social media, you can be talking to people and somebody will share what it is that you're putting out there. And before you know it, you've got somebody else that you're connected with, whether it's Facebook or Instagram or all my YouTube videos. And the people who have found me to join my team, the people, who have found me or be like, when you get around to that cookbook, put me down because I want your cookbook, It's just amazing. And now I want to do an Uber storybook because Lord knows. Hey, Jason, my brother's on here, my little brother, but if you saw him, you wouldn't think he was little, He's towering, he's tall, like a lot of us in the family. Yes, Jason, I love you too very much. Jason is the youth pastor that I've told you guys about in many of my stories. He ministers to young adults and teenagers all over the country. They fly him in and they fly him out, and he goes into camps and he, shares and spreads God's love and his message to everybody. And because of Jason's journey, and you all have heard me talk about our journey and everything we've gone through, everything we continue to go through, Jason shares his experiences with these kids kids sometimes feel like they have no hope. And when they realize that here he is and what he's been through, what he continues to go through and what he shares, and the fact that he has this knack to get through all those walls. I always say it's because he's a big kid himself. I mean, I guess his sister's kind of like that too, but the kids love him, and I get it. My kids have always loved him. Everybody's kids in the family love him. I love him, so he's a good guy, right? So he is absolutely doing something that I know my mom is watching him, but she would be so very proud of him because I am. And I think that when you know that somebody's been through some really bad struggles in their life, and they didn't let the struggles define them. I tell you all that all the time, I'm not going to take credit for this, but I want to share something with you. As I was scrolling through Facebook, I saw my buddy, Will Smith, Fresh Prince. I know I call him my buddy, but you know how he's one of those guys too, that when you hear him talk, I feel like I know him. It's just a gift to think, when somebody's talking, you feel like you know them, right? You feel like we're buddies. And I love that because I love that when people meet me, they go, oh my gosh, Molly, you exactly in person like you are when you're on your live streams. And I'm thinking, don't know how else to be. Don't know how else to be. But I get there are some people who aren't. They have this exterior, they have this thing with them. But Will Smith is one of those people for me. So when I see something, hi, Rebecca. Hello, Laura. Shout out to you guys. Mel. Let's see here. Who else do we have? Hold on, guys. I got to stop here. I'm trying not to meet. Hey, Denise, I see you. Okay, I see Phyllis just jumped on. Hi, Phyllis. So Will is one of those people. And so one of the sites, the positive sites that I follow on Facebook, he was giving a talk and he said something to the, let me get this right. Because I was talking to one of my Uber riders about this, which I will bring her into it now. There was a girl I picked up. Her name was Lori. And she had a couple of stops, Uber stops, that she was going to need to make. And guys, truly, my Uber riders, when they get in my vehicle, my Avon mobile, let me be clear, they feel like they belong. They do. It's like, welcome to my second home. And they all get into my big old vehicle and they love it because everybody gets their own zip code. Everybody's like, oh yeah, we just have a party in here. And I'm like, I know, seriously? I have automatic doors, so I open the doors for them. And when they get in, the vehicle smells amazingly like cherries because I find this secret deodorizer that I put in my car. And when the heat hits it, it just is amazing. And they love it. And like at Christmas time, they all got gifts. They all got Avon products from me. I had kids gifts, I had women's gifts, I had men's gifts, and I had stuff that was here, and everybody got something wrapped in a tissue that had my business card on it and how they could reorder. And it was like, thank you for riding with me. And then the month of February, I'm doing the same thing because of Valentine's Day, right? So like I've got perfumes that I've had, and our whole kids line, which is amazing. And, in Aspira, and again, wrapping it up. Thank you for riding with me, because it's guerrilla marketing, guys. For me, although I'm doing this Uber thing because I want to, it's helping right now. We all know January is a slower month in the direct sales world. So it's helping me right now, of course, with current bills and things that have come up, but also helping me put away for moving expenses, because we want to move in October around the Charlotte, North Carolina area. So I'm trying to get people, turn them on to my online store, my digital store, get them to become my customer, because most people who are using Uber, let's be clear, they're already using the apps, right? They're already on there. If they're doing this, they're using me. Hi, Tammy Leonard. How are you? Hi, Mary Rad. So they're already in the age of social media. And I need to be clear, not just young people, not just my youngins who are 18 to 29 or 30. I have got people that are taking Ubers that are older than me, and they're already in the social media world. So I think sometimes that in our business, we kind of feel like, because we've been so used to doing something one way, that we feel like if we get away from that one way, that it's going to hurt us. And what you need to understand is, when you have a new path that you can go down, that you can take a shortcut, it does not mean, let me say it again, it does not mean that you have to get away from what you're doing now. It means you add something that could add some people to your circle. It means that you may get more people talking to them in person, but imagine if you could just grab one or two people, think of this, a month, 2 people a month. Come on, you're going to get 24 new customers from it. But most of the time, it can be more than that. So like, I'm always somebody. And look, when they get in my vehicle, I've showed you this before, but I'm going to show you again. I always have brochures. In the back, I have the little pockets back behind my seats in my Avon mobile. And of course, you see it says, "Take me, I'm free." And of course, I have a recruiting flyer here that talks about the reasons that people should, join me on this journey, and why it's fun and what it's helped me with. And then of course, my 10% code that I got from Town and Country that talks about, they can get 10% off their first order with me. And then on the back, because I have had this connection with people, I have talked to these people. It is a one-on-one experience. I have given them samples of everything that I have. There is a lipstick sample. There is a skincare sample. There is an Aspira sample, normally the energy, the restful sleep, or the calm, something I know can help everybody. There is a perfume sample. There is a men's cologne sample. So there is everything in here that, I got something for everybody. And when I say, please take a brochure, you can do all your shopping right online. And let me tell you, anybody who picks up a brochure from me, the only way available to them to order from me is online, because that's all I give them is my digital e-store. And I tell them that it's friendly. I tell them that it's user friendly. I tell them that if they just go and register as my customer, go to my site and register. It costs you nothing, even if you want nothing right now, that my company is going to send you offers that nobody else who just orders from me personally is going to get, whether it's free delivery. I have said you're going to get it quicker if you do that. And right now, because there's a trip to Jamaica out there that I can earn with the more direct delivery orders I have, obviously I'm like, and do you know that if there's something you like or want to try and you order from me, do you know that you can help your Uber driver get to Jamaica, get a free trip for me, and if you really support me, you can help my husband get there too. So I love the fact that everybody loves to make the experience better, and they love to help you. And look, people ask me all the time that, look, there is nothing I'm going to do in life where I can't combine everything that I'm passionate about to make sure that everybody, if they receive a piece of it, I'm going to put the pie out there. But if you want a piece of it, you're going to be able to reach out and grab it. Whether they get into my Uber car and they're just want good conversation, or they want to laugh, or they read my bio. If you choose me and they have bios, and I really took time with my bio, I'm the Avon Uber lady. Look for the vehicle with the Avon signs, and you all remember my vehicle tag says Avon MD. So I'm I'm easy to spot. You can't miss me. And of course, then they see the Uber thing on the window too, so dead giveaway. But I tell them my journey, why I'm doing this, that I'm trying, that I want to move, and that this is extra income. And they're always like, I love it when I hear them. I'll be picking somebody up from a club or a bar or a restaurant, and I'm in Uber XL, which means I can hold up to 7 people in my vehicle. So a lot of people call for me. 2 of them will get in the vehicle, and I'll hear them on the phone going, come on, it's going to charge me extra money. Yeah, the Avon car, you're going to see it, the Avon one. And I'm like, so cool, so cool. Instant freaking advertising for me to grow my business bigger. And they all say the same thing. Hi, Atala. I just saw your name pop up on the other screen. I didn't mean to miss you, my friend. Hello, Helen. How are you? I see that my sister-in-law, Ann, has just slipped on. Hi, Ann. I missed you this morning. You were gone. I know you're hard working tutoring this morning. So what I'm saying is that everything can come together when you find the right combination. Look, and by the way, it's not every single person, because sometimes people get in and there is no talk about my main gig. Sometimes people just want to talk. Sometimes they don't want to talk, and I take that lead from them. But this lady, Lori, who got in, we started talking, and we were talking about telling her about Will Smith. Let me get back to that. You all know me. I get sidetracked when I start talking. You're just going to have to deal with it. That's never going to change. And Will was talking about fault and responsibility. Think about it, fault and responsibility. And he said, you know what? Sadly, he said, the two just do not go together. He said, something can be somebody's fault, and we can say, well, this happened in my life and it's this person's fault. He says, but it's not their responsibility. So he started giving examples, because I thought this is interesting. He said, you can have an alcoholic father or parent who didn't do the right thing for you, and they didn't nurture you the way they should. And you know what? It didn't leave you with a great childhood. Or maybe you have somebody in your life who's manipulative, and it's a family member, maybe something like that, right? Or somebody who's doing something, and you can say, it's their fault. They're that way. It is their fault. It is their fault that they did it. But it is your responsibility to figure out how you are going to get by it, what you're going to do with it, what you're going to do differently, that you won't be that person going forward. You can be somebody cheated on you. Your husband, your wife, whatever, they cheated on you. And he used this example, and I was in the middle, like a little thing for Ubering that I didn't have anybody at the time. So I was watching him, waiting for Lori, because she was in a store. And I wanted to share it to all of you all. And I'm going to go back and find it. I saved it. So I'm going to go back and find it. And he says, you have somebody who cheats on you. Yeah, you know what? It's his fault that he cheated. But it's your responsibility to say, what are you going to do with it? He says, fault and responsibility, sadly, never go together, because You can keep blaming somebody and telling them it's all your fault. I don't like something with my company. It's all their fault. I don't like the direction this is going. It's all their fault. I don't like where my marriage is going, but it's his fault. It's her fault. I don't like what I'm getting from my family. This friend, I feel like, is just abusing our friendship and using me, whatever it may be. It is their fault. But your responsibility is how you come out of this. And when I was telling her about it, when she got back into the car, I said, do you like Will Smith? And she said, yeah. I'm like, oh my gosh. I said, I just watched something, Waiting for You. And I said, and they were talking about, husbands or your partner cheating on you or whatever. And I said, and how you have to figure out what responsibility you're going to take in getting through this. And she says, oh my gosh, it's weird. And I said, what? And she says, my ex, she says, he was in that store. And I said, really? Seriously? She says, yeah. She says he was. And I'm thinking ex, like, okay, they've probably like been done for like, a year or something. She goes, yeah, really new too, like less than a week ago. And I was like, OMG. I said, oh, wow, I'm sorry. And she goes, no. She says, see, there were things he was doing. She says he has an ex-wife. He doesn't have any children, but he still goes and he hangs out with his wife, his ex-wife. He doesn't tell me about conversations. And then he would, couldn't decide what he wanted. He didn't want to be with, he didn't want a relationship. He didn't want a relationship. And she says, and I just took it and I took it and I took it. And I finally said, this is not going to change if this is what I continue taking. And I said, so you took responsibility? And she said, yes. And she put her hands up in the air in the backseat. I was like, whoa, getting ready to go over to Solomon's Bridge. I'm like, we was having a Jesus moment right then, let me tell you. She said, yes, I did. And she says, and at first I was really sad about it in the first couple of days. And she says, and I saw him in there. And she says, and my heart twinged for a moment. And I thought, he's not willing to change his ways. So I have to be responsible enough to take care of me and put her own oxygen mask on and make sure that she learns something through this so that her life does not repeat down the same road with somebody else or with him again. And I thought, I know they say that things happen for a reason, but sometimes things just happen. And if you don't share them sometimes, it's amazing to me how many people here, I'm just thinking that I'm helping you all a lot of the times, that when I'm sharing my journey, I'm sharing it with my family, my Avon family, the family and friends that watch, whatever it may be, people who don't know me and just like to really watch me. And I think, man, this Uber thing is turning out to be the same thing. I mean, it really is. It's turning out that in the midst of trying to do something to help me get to a better place in my life and to finally concentrate on me and Lee and what we want, that I have been blessed with this opportunity. And look, I'm not going to lie. It's not easy. It's not easy. 55 years old. I'm not used to working the hours that I'm working these days anymore. But every day that I go out and do this, I am receiving a blessing. Some days it's something that blesses my main gig. Some days it's a blessing that I can give to somebody else. Some days it's a blessing that somebody gives me. And some days it's just absolute, just stuff that's funny, things that happen that I can just share, which is absolutely amazing. I love it, right? So that was like, and it was really a long ride. I had to take her 2 different places, and I always like it. You have these conversations. People tip really well, the majority of them. So that was kind of nice. It was worth it. I spent, between travel time and everything, almost an hour with her in my vehicle, and it was definitely great. So there was one. I hope everybody's got their coffee. Are you on your first, your second, your fourth? My husband will be on his fourth within the hour, I'm sure. So let me tell you a lighthearted one. Okay. for all you people, you know that when I tell something, a funny story, you know that I don't know why this stuff happens to me, except that I'm supposed to be sharing it with somebody. And I shared it with my husband, and he rolled. So, of course, he did. So I'm going to share it with you. So, okay. So I go out. I get this run, get the request from Uber, right? It's, okay, when did this happen? Sunday. This happened Sunday, 1:30 in the afternoon. So let us be clear. Hi, Rachel. How are you? So it's daylight. Okay, it's daylight. It's sunny outside. You know, it's not raining. It's not anything. And this is only like 5 minutes for me. So I'm going to pick up this person. Maggie says she's on her third. There we go. Luann says I'm on my third. There you go. First, but got to run and get my refund now. Okay, Bonnie, go get it. Hurry back. So I'm going down the road. No big deal. I got my jam on. You know, my XM is on, right? My Sirius, what they call XM Sirius. You know what I'm talking about. It was XM when I started. Now they want to change all the names. So I've got the blend on because everybody likes that because it's a little bit of everything. So I keep it on that station when I'm doing Uber. So here I am, and I got to tell you, do you know what song was playing? Lionel Richie, Dancing on the Ceiling. You know, oh, what a feeling, because we're dancing on the ceiling. So, you know, I got nobody in the car. I'm going to pick the person up. So I'm jamming, right, to Dancing on the Ceiling. Me and Lionel in my mind are in that video, and we are dancing on the ceiling. Because, see, that was my jam in my day. When we was going out, that's what we did. We danced on the ceiling with Lionel, okay? That's what we did. So it's on. I got it cranked up to, like, you know, 21 on the volume map, and I'm just, you know, that got my diff sunglasses on. So I am the 55-year-old who's showing her age, and I am dancing on the ceiling. Suddenly, something catches my eye, my peripheral vision right here, right? Lionel's still going, and I'm thinking, what? You know, two-lane road, okay? Doing about 40. And all of a sudden, I look, and there is this humongous buck deer. I mean, huge, Bambi's daddy, okay? I quit counting at 9. And when I say something's in my peripheral, I was going 40. So it was going with me. He was running beside my car. He was running. I'm like, you know, and their eyes are here, right? Unlike mine who are here. And I'm like, I know he's looking at me. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, this deer, is he trying to race my Avon mobile? What is he doing? So, like, I'm attempting to slow down a little bit, right? I'm attempting. I didn't say it. Well, I'm attempting to slow down. And when I slow down, he was slowing down. And I thought, oh, what are you doing? And suddenly I'm like, this would be how, when people go, I know you're not going to believe this, but the deer hit me. It hit me in the side. I'm thinking, how does that happen? And suddenly I'm flashing in my mind, this must be how deers take a sharp left and they hit the side of the vehicle. And them insurance companies, Phyllis, no offense, Phyllis, they go, I bet that happened, right? You had the evidence for that? And I'm like, I don't want this to happen. So I start slowing down. But then, hold up, then something else catches my eye. And up on this little dip, there's like this little, like, 4-foot wooded area because the apartments are over there. I'm getting ready to turn in. And there is another buck. And this must be Bambi's older son or Bambi's daddy or granddaddy or something. And he is running up on the hill. And I'm like, Jesus, take the wheel. It's not one buck. It's 2 bucks. What the heck am I going to do here? And they're running, and I'm thinking, this is not good. This is not good. There's a hill coming over here. I don't know where they're going. I'm going to have to turn in about 40 seconds here. What's going on? So I slow down to almost a halt, right? So and about the time I slow down, Bambi, with the 9 points or more, thank you. So for all you hunters out there, believe me, if you had been hanging out my windows, you would have had a trophy among all trophies with this Bambi here. He shoots Boom, right in front of my car. Boom, and he heads across, and I'm thinking, oh, don't slip. I see a car coming up over the hill, and I'm like, immediately, don't hit Bambi. I don't want Bambi to hit me. Don't hit Bambi. I'm like, my lights on and off. Here comes the car. That car starts to slow. I'm watching in slow motion. Ba boom, ba boom, ba boom. He turns. He gives me the look, right? As he's going in front of the car, he's giving me the look like, yeah, okay, I had it right away. I'm like, oh, and then it hits me. The dude up on the hill, Grandpa Bambi, or whoever he is, and here he comes off the hill, and he comes too, and he shoots across the road, and there they go down out into this big field by the apartments, and I'm like, this seriously did not just happen, and there is nobody in my stories who's going to believe that this just happened. As I sit there, so now I look like the idiot, the people behind me, because then people just coming up, they probably didn't even see what happened. I'm just the Avon mobile stopped in the middle of the road, trying to watch these deers over here going in the field thinking, my life just flashed in front of me. I'm trying to figure out if he hits my car. And yes, I said he hits my car. If he hits my car, how am I going to explain this to my insurance company? Because they're not going to want to believe me one little bit. I can't take my phone out because I'll crash if I try to take the evidence. So I can't. So I'm just like, okay, Molly, don't forget your Ubering. You got to go get your person. So my heart is like boom, 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 boom. And I'm just like, Lee ain't never going to believe this. I can't wait to get home to tell Lee. He ain't never going to believe that these two big, humongous big Bambi's daddies or something just ran in front of my car at 1:30 in the afternoon. Like, don't you all come out at night when I almost hit you? That happened to me all the time. So crazy. Janet says I had a car total because a deer plowed right into the... See, Janet, that's where he was, on the passenger side. Janet, I just thought, you got to be kidding me. This is like, I had never seen it. I mean, he just running beside my car like, I got you, girl. I'm going to beat you. And this is no effort for him. He just going. He's like, yeah, Well, what you think you got here in this Toyota Sienna? What you think you got here? I know I'm just like, this is crazy. This is crazy. So anyway, so my experience with deer, and look, I see deer all the time here, there, all over the place. That was really, Robin, they had a lunch date, something, maybe there was great clover or grass over there or something, but that was absolutely crazy. I could not believe that happened. So that happened Sunday. So let's think of what's another one. Okay, so I picked up a lady who was much older than me, and just really, really nice lady. She gets in. I'm like, hey, how you doing? Hi, Andrea. Thanks for joining. So here I am, and I pick her up, and she, talks about why she was waiting for me. She read my profile. I was surprised how many people with us doing this that read your profile. So Avon reps, I want to say this to you or anybody who's watching this in any type of business or direct sales. Rather your e-store, things like that, where you can write something about yourself, or you can put your picture, something that you think that the smallest, probably to you, the dumbest thing about you, that you don't think anybody would be interested in. The people who read my profile on my Uber account, and I'm sure this happens with Avon too, because I am the person who likes to talk about what I like, hoping that I'm going to attach to people that, people don't just go, oh, well, I need something from Avon, or I need something from this company. Let me just shop from somebody. People don't do that. People, no matter what they say, like the connection of they can control the connection. But if they think they can help somebody, if they think there's somebody that they have something in common with, I'm this way too. I'm going to, if I have a new product I want to try, and I know what company it is, I want to know if I know somebody in that company, because if I'm going to buy that product, I want to make sure that I am doing something to help somebody else, right? So I cannot believe how many people read my profile, and I've got like crazy stuff on the profile, like that I'm from Maryland, of course, all my life, and it has a little crab beside it, because like my favorite food is like, steamed crabs. And that my journey, that I'm looking to move to, my cousin's on, Kelly Roth. Hi, Kelly, I see you. Mwah. And that I'm trying to get to North Carolina, that I'm doing this as a side hustle, that Avon is my main hustle, so that I have on there that I am the Avon Uber lady. And they sit there waiting for me and read my profile, because when they get in the car, they say, so you do Avon. I'm thinking, oh, it's probably because it's just on my car all over the place. And they're like, yeah, I was reading your profile. So if you haven't taken time in your company, on your website, whatever, if you have a place to talk about you, and let's be clear, even Facebook or Instagram or something like that, don't just leave the about part empty. Put something in there and be honest. Don't just put what you think people want to hear. Be honest. I mean, with me, it's about being honest with life. It's about being honest about business. It's about why I do what I do all the way around. So when you do these things, what I've learned in life, what I'm still trying to learn, what I'm still struggling with, people attach to those things. And then, they don't get to like pick me like, oh, I want Molly to come to me. And then they just hope that when they're picking their Uber, that a lot of them are picking to get me. So there is a gentleman and his wife, Josh. I'm going to get back to the lady, okay, but I want to tell you about Josh. Josh and his wife, I've gotten them numerous times, probably because they're close, but they're always going out on the weekend, and they normally have their friends come over, and they all get in, and there's normally 5 or 6 of them, so they all get in. Well, I was going, most of you won't understand this, but I was going to Leonardtown, which is, probably a good 20, 25 miles out of my way. They needed an Uber XL, which is a larger vehicle. I wasn't recognizing the name Josh at the time. Josh is a pretty common name. So I'm going to Leonardtown to pick up my ride. So I knew they had requested an XL, so I knew that there were going to be more than probably a couple of people. So when I get there to pick them up, I'm on my way there, and I'm coming down this little side street, and there's this guy in the middle of the road, which I now know was Josh. So I get there, and he's like, and I'm like, and as I get close, I realize it's my Josh. It's my Josh and his wife. And he's just like, so immediately, what's that lead me to do? I'm doing the same thing back. And he's just laughing. And I realize that it's them. No, I didn't wreck the Avon Mobile. I've gotten very good about that. It's all good. It's all entertainment in the end. So I get in and I'm like, Josh. And he's like, Molly, I was just sitting here talking to my friends, and none of them have ridden with you before. He says, and I said, this would be really cool if I call for an Uber XL and we get my girl Molly, because you're going to love Molly. He said, you got to get Molly. And I said, and you got Molly? And he said, yes. So they all get in, and we're taking them to a cigar bar, a lot further up the road. So Josh and I are conversing, and he's telling me that, he says, Molly, he says, you may not have been working, but we called for an Uber last week. And he said, Uber XL. And he says, and we got somebody else. And I said, okay. And he says, oh, he goes, he says, thanks for picking us up. He says, I was like, thought that, Molly would pick us back up. And the guy goes, who's Molly? And he goes, oh, it's the Uber XL that we normally get. The guy says, there's no Molly, Uber XL Molly out here. He says, I'm one of only 2 XLs that are in the area. And Josh says, no, Molly is the Uber XL. He said, yeah. He says, Molly's the shit. And he said, so there is. He goes, well, I don't know who you're talking about. He goes, but Molly, he told me something else. He goes, Molly, do you know about the Uber/Lyft? He says, Mafia? I was like, what? Josh, what are you talking about? He says, yeah, apparently there's a group. He goes, this guy said that he was sitting in the Target parking lot, like waiting to get a ride. And he said, 2 vehicles come up, one on one side, one on the other side. He says they got their phones in their hands, they roll their windows down, and he says he does this, and he says, they say, it's two women. He says, who you with, Uber or Lyft? And the guy's like, Uber. And they said, you need to be part of our group. We're the Uber Lyft Mafia. He says, we got a group. It's a secret group, but you need to be part of it. We talk about, where our best rides are in the best areas or whatever. And he says, have you heard of that? I said, no. And he says, and would you be a part of some? And I'm like, no. I said, number one, anybody who's calling himself the mafia would be a little bit scary considering Uber and it's supposed to be friendly. And I said, do I look stupid to get on to some Facebook group with a bunch of other people in my area and tell them where some of my best rides are or where I'm at or how much? No. I am he goes, you are a businesswoman. You don't give that away. And I said, booyah. No. I said, I see how they can be out here. And I said, and I, honest to God, do not have time to be getting on there talking about where everybody's going and being part of this quote unquote Uber Lyft mafia. Are you serious? I said, that's crazy. He goes, you didn't look like to me that you was like that mafia material anyways that he was talking about. I said, well, did he join? He says they wouldn't let him go. Come on right now, get on there. We'll approve you right now. And I'm like, you wonder why I don't just sit places. That would be why. Didn't know they existed, but didn't want any part of it. Hi, Tiffany. Thanks for joining us. Hi, Ashley Ann Rutledge. How are you, beautiful? Good to see you. Harriet, I see you. Thanks for joining us. I see Patricia. How are you, my friend? So, needless to say, for all my Uber, Lyft friends who are on here, I know you're watching in our area, stay away from the Uber Lyft mafia. If you see two vehicles coming at you with their phones in their hand, they're gonna try to connive you into joining their group so you give up all your secrets. You don't give up your secrets, people. You don't give up your secrets. That's not a good thing. So that was a crazy event too. So I love the fact that people are that excited, especially my young people. They get excited. Oh my God, Molly! And what was really great is the other day, the lady says, her husband or boyfriend, whatever he was, he goes, oh my God, you were our driver like 2 weeks. You remember me? And of course I'm gonna go, of course I remember you. I don't remember him, but I was telling him I remember. Yes, I remember you. And we're like we're doing that thing and high-fiving and all that stuff. He goes, you remember what you gave me? I said, I give a lot of people stuff. What'd I give you? He says, you gave me that like skin so soft stuff. He said, that stuff is the bomb. And I'm like, yeah, I know. He says, you remember I challenged you and said, what, you gonna give me some Avon samples? He says, and you whipped that book out with those samples, and he says, and you're like, booyah. And he said, I was like, oh my God, she did it. And his friends were like, whoa. So I was like, oh yeah, you don't mess with the Avon rep who know what she's doing, okay? Just do not. We are always ready. We are ready to make you we got samples. I said, did you happen to try the lipstick out? He says, no, wasn't my shade. So I liked it because he was, you know what? He was witty. He had comebacks. It was awesome. So this has been, and continue. Now look, again, I'm not preaching all rosy. You know me, I just don't do that because not everything is rosy. I don't care what you say. It's how you perceive it and what you're getting out of it and what's your goals and how you're going to get them. This is the hardest thing I've done in a long time. This reminds me of back when I was trying to make senior executive leader and I still had a full-time job. And I was, for a lot of that time, I was still delivering the papers. And, for a while I had to go to work for Target and I had to work part-time at Target because I was advertising and I wanted more brochures and I wanted to do everything I could to get to my goal. And I know, and I wanted Avon to be my main gig. I wanted it to pay my bills. And it was so hard. I felt like I worked all the time. I hardly had any time to myself. Sometimes I would be frustrated with the time I didn't have for myself, between trying to be where my kids wanted me and trying to be, if my family needed me. And Lee and I weren't married then. At the time we were going to get married, and I remember that, me thinking to myself, oh my gosh, like trying to divide myself up, and it was so hard. And I am back to hard again because the goals have shifted, so Avon can pay the bills, but I want to move. And in order to do that right now, my Avon is not where it needs to be in order to pay this extra debt I know I'm going to incur with moving. And so I knew I had to find something else, but I knew whatever I found, I was going to have to make sure that I could enhance my main gig while doing it. So that is what I've developed. I've developed how to make relationships. Hi, JP. JP always gets a quadruple, all that stuff kisses. So don't be jealous, guys. He's like my adopted kid. What can I tell you? So what I'm telling you is, no matter where you are, maybe you have a job and you're doing this part-time. Maybe it is your full-time thing, but you have other goals. I share this. Look, I've been chastised by a lot of people in private message for sharing that I'm doing this, for doing this because it takes away from other things, but I have gotten to the point that where I cannot listen to people in the cheap seats. You're not feeding me, you're not financing me, and you're not sleeping with me. So you don't get an opinion. It's that simple. You can have an opinion, but I'm not interested in your opinion about what I'm doing. I am doing what I'm doing to prepare for a better life for me and Lee. I am doing what I'm doing because I choose to do it. And there's just no other way to put it. Look, the people who are going to scream the loudest in your life are people in the cheap seats. And believe me, there have been a lot of failures that I bought on myself, right? A lot of failures I bought, like I put myself in that place, and what happens? I learned a lesson from it. But again, do I dwell on it was my fault that I did that? Or do I take the responsibility to say, now that I've shifted, what do I do with this? I talked the other day briefly on a live stream and said, life is a highway, but you don't really realize how much it is. You look back over your shoulder and our life is filled with mile markers. Mile markers. We all have done things in our business, in our lives, with relationships, all the way around. And you look back with my sons, and I can say, oh my gosh, at mile marker 1,120, I did that. Ooh, boy, I should have done that differently. And at mile marker 3, oh my gosh, that first husband thing, boy, I should have done that. Mile markers are for looking at where you've been, and you can't go back and change them, but you pay attention to the mile markers in your future, the next mile marker you're going to hit. You cannot go back and change anything. Quit dwelling on it. Make sure that you realize what your fault was or not in something, and take the responsibility to do it right. I was not, with my impatience, going to get to where I want to be in the time frame that I want to get there, just doing my business alone at this point. And I am strong enough and I am able enough to do anything I want to and combine it with my powerhouse business and make it big or thrive. I have had people join my company because of Uber. I have gotten my online sales are bigger than they've ever been, because even before Avon made the big push towards online sales recently, even before that, I was making the shift because, see, I knew if I moved all my local customers, I have to get them online. I don't want to lose them. So bringing anybody in new, this is how you order for me. Hi, Ruth Ann. Good to see you. So the point is, I have been making this push anyways because it makes sense. If I don't have a lot of time, for all of you talking about you don't have a lot of time, why are you fighting a shift? The shift isn't that you can't continue doing things that you want to do. The shift is that what you get in the future can make life easier, and you can make this and have time towards things that you want to have. Another little divvy for you. So February, we have with our company, it's, you get the $50 orders and they're going to get the free mascara, Love at First Lash, and free shipping if they have $50 orders. And I'm really pushing that, but I'm pushing it also with my shuffle card when I send out my virtual campaign reminder to my customers. I've made up one to go with that, but there's something else that they can do. Along with that, I thought, what is big right now that I can offer them personally, like that I can offer somebody? They're getting the free shipping. They're going to get a free $12 mascara, which I love. I wear all the time. But what else can I do to help promote those $50 orders or more? And this is what I came up with. So when, the Craves, the new lip glosses that we have. So I got every single one of them, okay? I got 3 sets of these, 3 sets of all our Crave lip glosses. And so now anybody, what I'm promoting is you're already going to get something free just for doing it, right? Just for ordering. You're going to get the mascara, you're going to get free shipping. But now you are going to get, in the month of February, every customer of mine who places an order of $50 or more is going to be entered into my own personal raffle to get a full set of the Crave lip glosses. A full set, and I have taken pictures. I am sending it to them with their reminder. If you order from February 1st to February 28th, I don't care if you order 5 times in that month. Every time you do, and it's a $50 order, you're going to get an entry. So you can share them with your people at work. You can share them with your daughters. I love these glosses because whether you have a 5-year-old, whether you're using it yourself, no matter what it is, they smell delish. You can give them to the youngins. You can give them to the teens. You can give them to the college students. You can give them to grandma. They're fun. They're fun. But give them a set, and amazing, all those people that they'd like to give a little something to, hey, they've got it. So for me, that's what I'm doing. Always remember that with whatever your company gives you, step out of the box as far as, now what can you do to promote what they have just given you? I need you to think about that seriously. And look, I could have said, oh, I'm going to give them $100 worth of a new. You can do that, right? Think about this. Not everybody likes skincare. I do that too. Look, I offer the skincare and stuff too, but here's the deal. Got to know what kind of skincare they are. Maybe they don't like the platinum. They don't like the ultra. So when I'm trying to get people to do something big, I think if somebody didn't know me, what is the one thing that we deal in that somebody, if they don't use it themselves, what could they use for other people? The kids' products, the bath, the whole line, these glosses, you know what I'm saying? I mean, these products here are great. Oh, and with that too, I got a couple of the, remember the, hold on, I'm trying to see if it's still here. I had already gotten the, what do they call this? I'm trying to think of what they call it. Oh, the Gimme Lip. Remember the lips, the sparkly lips? Those sets too are going to come with one of these also. So 3 sets with this that has, again, we're talking about a gloss, but it's fun because it's got the sparkly lips. And I know when I was a kid and my mom bought me stuff like that, I loved it. And as a teenager, I carried it with me when I was in school. And when I was in college, for the short time I was, I had it with me. And as an adult, I still carry one in my car or in my purse. I am 55 years old and I still can't get enough of stuff like this. I am not so different from everybody else. Yes, Lisa, I'll find a neutral product to give away that everybody can use. Absolutely. So I hope you see, whenever I do get together to share with you, I hope you see the fact that you really can think outside the box, and that every extra journey you have to take in your life can be used towards helping somebody else, helping your main thing. Look, I have a new girl on my team, Amanda, who's been with me a few campaigns. Amanda is one of those representatives, reminds me also of not so much a newbie now, but kind of semi-newbie, Sharon Carmack. And they have used everything that our company has given them, but they look at helping other people. Amanda's doing a couple of fundraisers. One person was diagnosed with stage 2, I think, breast cancer. And she's sharing this on social media and saying that the proceeds of anything that comes in is going towards helping them with all the extra fees. She's got another one that's going. She's still out there. She's a single mom. She's raising her kids. She's working too. And she is using every avenue. She is not letting her brain, the lack of knowledge, she's not letting it hinder her. And neither did Sharon. Sharon went after what she wanted. We had an iPad incentive. She tore that iPad incentive up because she knew what she wanted and she decided she wasn't letting anything get in her way. See, what happens is something doesn't work for you right away, and instead of shifting or pressing on to the next person, you're letting the cheap seats, the people who are not feeding you, finance you, or sleeping with you, you're letting those people get in your brain and make you believe that you can't do what you want to do. I'm here to tell you, I was the girl who felt like she did absolutely nothing with her life except create just havoc, and everything I did with good intentions went to hell in a handbag. But you know why it was doing that? Because I was too worried about pleasing everybody, because I was too worried about everybody being happy with me, because I was too worried about making sure everyone else was okay besides number one. And the reason I wasn't producing what I needed to produce is because when you take care of doing what you need to do and you go down this path you know you need to go to, quit letting people influence your decisions and tell you that you're going to be a loser and that you're going to fail. Failure isn't quitting, people. Failure isn't giving up and not trying anymore. Failure is when you hear something you don't like and you go, forget this. That is failure. And if something has happened and this is not the path, guess what? Why are you still worried about the path that you just came off of? Find that new path, go after that new path. You can do this with anything that's in you. You want a better relationship with your children? You know what you have to do. Don't say, oh, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing with my kids. I know we have a sucky relationship, but eventually it'll fix itself. I just know it. No, it doesn't. There is something that's going on in the relationship that is not letting the relationship grow. It happened with both my kids. You all have heard the stories. You've watched the YouTubes. It broke my heart that my kids were out of my life for a couple of years. But I had to stop my bad habits with them and enabling them. There are other people in my life that I didn't even see myself enabling that I was. And I had to say, no more. This relationship is not going anywhere, or it's completely fractured because I have to take my fault in it, but I need to take the responsibility to do it differently. We let too many people have an opinion in our lives, and the people who know that their opinions matter to you, you better watch it. They will use that to their advantage and not even mean to sometimes. Oh, I want her to do this. Well, if I tell her she's not giving me enough attention, if I tell him that, you're not spending enough time with me, oh, it doesn't matter that what you're doing is bringing in money for them to eat the food they're eating, drive the car they're driving, putting a roof over their head, whatever it may happen. Wake up, people. Wake up. Wake the heck up. It has taken me too many years to get to what I tell you now. I want you to get there sooner. And for those who are my age, take it from the girl who knows. You never too old to start getting it right, okay? And this message I just told you, that lady I told you I'd get back to, that was the message that I had in the vehicle with her. I picked her out her kids' home. She had just sold her home, moved in with her kids, didn't know what she wanted to do with her life. She seemed very defeated in some ways. And I was taking her to the giant food store because she was going to do her grocery shopping. And I said to her, I don't know how old you are, but I'm 55. But I didn't start trying to get it right until I was in my 40s. I think as long as you're breathing, you absolutely can figure out what you want to do with your life. You are taking a moment and you are exhaling right now, and you are trying to figure it out. But don't let anybody hold your age against you about what you can and cannot do. If there is something that you want, you do it. Life happens when you make it happen. And in the end, I got to thinking, what did she say? I want to tell you what she said. Let me find, I know I can't see her comments right now because I'm getting on the Uber app, but I was reading this. She left me a message. I love the fact that they can leave you. Oh, wow, somebody else left me one too. So here are my latest ones. I've been reading this to you. Okay, there is one. She was the nicest lady. She even gave us little gifts after our ride, the Avon stuff, remember, definitely the best. Thanks so much. Molly, we cannot thank you enough for supporting our friend tonight when she needed it and being a supportive mama to all of us. Happy New Year. That was my first $50 tip. They tipped me $50 because me and the young lady sitting beside me were just having a conversation about, girl, don't let this divorce get to you. I've been there. You can be better. You will be better than ever because you took responsibility for wasn't working, and now you're going to move on. Again, we were just talking. Here's another one. During the big snowstorm we had almost a month ago, I had a ride I really didn't want to take to Baltimore County, which is almost a 2-hour trip for me, and it was in the middle of the snowstorm, and this young man needed to get home. And I said, I'm going to do it. This was 3 weeks ago, it says. And his mom, it was on his mom's account, she left a message, says, hi, Molly, I want to thank you for getting my son home safely in the midst of the snowstorm. Many blessings to you and your family. That just, I thought, my God, I got somebody's son home. That is just so great. And then the lady, she writes on here, well, first, before when she got out, she goes, I want you all the time. Well, they just let me pick you all the time. I wanted to pick you all the time because every time I have a car with you, I'll know I can do something that I want to do. And I started laughing. I said, I'm in the area, so you'll probably get me a lot. So I'm sure we're going to be fast Uber friends. But she wrote on here, positive, happy, inspirational driver, would ride with her everywhere if I could. That touched me. It really did. And then I got another one. Oh, I got another one today. It must have been from last night. It said, wonderful ride, wonderful driver. And I have to tell you, no different than my Avon customers. We touch lives every day, or we have the ability to do that. Think about it. Every single day, you have the ability to touch someone's life, whether you're owning your own business or whether you're doing a side hustle. You leave everybody who comes in contact with you. You leave them with an impression. You leave them with something they're taking away from you. Whether it's a smile, no matter what it is, whether it's a kind word, no matter what it is. I need you to know that you're in the place you're in because there's something meant bigger for you to do there. And I tell you this because I'm learning that through my life. I come home at least once a week so frustrated. I go, Lee, I'm so tired. I'm so tired of not having a day off. I just, trying to keep up, doing my business up till all hours, helping people. But then God sends me stuff like this. I am an Uber driver who has a rating of 5.00, and I have had, somebody told me this is unheard of. I don't know. I didn't know that. I have had 649 trips that I have taken people on in the 4 months that I've been with Uber. And I have a 5.0, which is the top rating you can get. And I have to tell you, these are the things. I love the fact that people can put what they love and that you have made a difference. So don't think that you can't make a difference. It's the little stuff. It's it's rarely ever the big stuff. It's the little stuff that makes a difference. So you keep on getting on. You keep on going after those goals you have, and don't you let those cheap seat people have any play in your game whatsoever. Just look at them and say, if you ain't feeding me, financing me, or my husband says it a different way with a different app, I say, or sleeping with me, then you really don't have an opinion. And you need to back off, or I'm going to dismiss you. It's just that simple. So do that. Keep doing what you're doing. Yeah, I know this was long. My apologies, but I don't get to talk to you guys very often anymore. So I wanted to share these things with you. Hopefully you got some ideas to help promote the digital thing. Hopefully you laughed a little bit. If you haven't heard the deer story, you need to rewind this when I get done, and you need to listen to the deer story, okay? It was probably one of my more epic ones. Me and Bambi bonding at 40 miles an hour. Jesus, take the wheel. I love you guys. Avon family, again, I have not in any shape or form forgotten about you. I just have my own oxygen mask on right now. And when I get done, you'll still get things like this, but when I get done, you're going to get an even better Molly, better Mama Molly to so many of you. And hopefully it's going to help enrich your life with what I'm sharing, because I believe all this is meant to share with you. So keep at it. Keep at it. Don't give up. No matter how discouraged you feel, there is something that's there. Quit looking at those mile markers back there, and move forward to do better things. And quit trying to find fault with people, and take responsibility and do better, okay? Love those that are easy to love. Love those who are really hard to love. Just keep loving them, okay? Because love is a choice. Keep loving them. You don't let them abuse you, but you keep loving them, okay? Because it's a choice. And know that I am, even though I may not be with you all the time, I am with you in heart, and I am always rooting you on. And I may not always say anything on the posts in the groups, because sometimes I'm just not able to, but I read them and I see you, and you guys have exactly what it takes. So don't give up. Don't quit in whatever it is that you're going after. So I'm gonna go finish my coffee, talk to my husband a little bit, and then I have to do a little Avon, and then I am back to the Ubering so I can come back with more stories for you guys, okay? So I'll talk to you soon. I love you. And yes, I will be putting this on YouTube as soon as I get a moment, okay? Mwah, you guys, onward and be brave.